Okay, folks, good morning, or sorry, good afternoon. Welcome to our future applicant webinars. My name is Jonathan Holland and I'm from the Market Engagement Department at Ulster University. Today, I'm glad to be joined by my colleague, Karen Davies, who's a lecturer in Building Technology and Materials. And Karen will be covering the courses that we have on offer at the Belfast School of Architecture and the Built Environment. Before I pass over to Karen, it's just to set this in context. We've been offering a wide range of webinars to students who are considering applying to Ulster University, hopefully for September 2021. Now, we are also very mindful that we could be joined by our current applicants for September 2020, but primarily the focus today is on obviously dealing with any questions and hopefully sharing information with you about our courses within architecture and the built environment for next September, as in 2021. As mentioned, we are offering a wide range of webinars. You may be interested in other programmes, and if you just check our website out at ulster.ac.uk/events, you'll see all the webinars that we have on offer over the next couple of weeks, and we will be promoting those out through the schools and on social media over the next couple of weeks as well, especially of course as we continue through the lockdown. And we hope that this offers you as much information as we can get out to you, including our website. During this time of year, we are typically out of schools delivering presentations, sharing information about all of our programmes, and of course connecting with you as potential applicants to the university. So hopefully this plugs a gap for the meantime. I'm going to pass you over to Karen, who hopefully is ready to take us through the webinar. Now, what will happen is towards the end of the webinar at about 2 o'clock, we will have an opportunity for Q&A. During the webinar, you can actually submit some questions using the Q&A function or the chat function. I'm going to go off camera and hopefully answer those. If there isn't any that I can, or there is any that I can't answer, I'll of course pose them to Karen at the end. So hopefully we'll get through those, and I'll see you all guys at about 2 o'clock towards the end of the webinar. Karen.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, Jonathan. I'm just going to share my screen. Apologies, everybody.
Yeah, I think your screen's already shared there, Karen, so it's just a matter of pushing the presentation on.
Okay, give that a go. No, apologies, everybody. We'll try to rectify this now.
Don't worry, Karen, if there's any issues, I have a copy of your presentation here. I can share it for you.
Yeah, it's I don't know why. It's we'll try now, hopefully, but
Let's give it a try. As I said, if there's any issues, I have it here. I can share it. It's no big deal.
Yeah, I might be able to go into it now. I think it was just won't let me move it through, Jonathan, so you might have to intervene. Okay. Oh, no, I can do it this way. So apologies, everybody. We always get there eventually.
We love technology. Give it a go.
Okay, yeah, I'm ready to go. I know. Well, it is saying my internet connection is unstable, so hopefully it holds out. So I'm doing this presentation for the Belfast School of Architecture and the Built Environment on behalf of Professor Anita Hewitt, who's the head of school. So I'd like to welcome you to this webinar, obviously, and thank you for joining us. And we understand at the School of Architecture and Built Environment that going to university is such an exciting step, and choosing where to study is an important decision that will certainly shape your future. So to help with this decision, we aim to provide you with an overview of the school and its programmes in the hope it helps to inform your decision about your future path, which will hopefully be in the built environment sector. So I'll firstly start by telling you about who we are as a sector and of course as a school, and then provide you with a very brief overview of the programmes we offer, and then finally outline the benefits of being a student with us in terms of teaching and research. So to begin, the Belfast School of Architecture and the Built Environment ultimately aims to provide students with a supportive environment for their studies, and we want to enable everyone in the dynamic built environment sector. So when we talk about the built environment sector, we're really referring to aspects of our surroundings that are built by humans, and that includes not only buildings but the human-made spaces between buildings, so parks, infrastructure that supports human activity such as transportation networks, utility networks, flood defences, telecommunications, and so on. So as you may know, the built environment industry in the UK has long had an international reputation for excellence, innovation, creativity, and inspiration in building. A professional career in the built environment is certainly an amazing opportunity to solve the problems of tomorrow and to transform our world. So if you just consider the challenges we face in modern climate change, increasing populations and aging building stock, today's built environment needs to be flexible and adaptable to future uses, resilient enough to cope with climate change, and must enable people to live well. In order to achieve this, we need students like you who are self-motivated, high achievers, problem solvers, team players, and ambitious. The study of the built environment, if you don't know already, is interdisciplinary in nature, and it really includes a wide range of disciplines. So architects, scientists, engineers, social scientists, and technologists, and all of those broad spectrum of professions are met within the course. Here we have around 1,400 full and part-time undergraduate students. We are very much an international community with students joining us from over 100 countries. Our students are in high demand, and that's reflected in the very positive employability figures for the university and for the school. The university figures show that 94% of graduates are in work or further study after 6 months. Within the school, we currently have a number of undergraduate programmes on offer, prepared for work and fully equipped with the knowledge, skills and qualities needed to make a difference in the built environment. And so these programmes include architecture, architectural technology and management, architectural engineering, building surveying, civil engineering, construction engineering and management, energy, environmental health, planning, regeneration and development, real estate, quantity surveying and safety engineering. That in one, if not quite a few of those programs. We typically get students that are making applications and they do want to understand the difference between the programs and possibly are applying for 2 or 3 programs within the school. So I'll now just give you a very brief description of each of those programs, just to give you a flavour as possible. But there's more detailed information about them on the online prospectus, and of course in the upcoming webinars a lot of the course directors will be doing in the next period of time. So we'll start with architecture and architectural technology and management. So both of these programmes focus in a sense on spatial design, which refers to the art and science of designing buildings and the spaces around them. The architecture programme is an accredited pathway to becoming a chartered architect, and they run what is known as super studios, and that's a unique first of its kind approach to teaching architecture in the UK, and cohort teaching, whereby differing year groups join a theme studio unit. And the students to date have found this approach really beneficial to their learning, because they're getting to mix with their peers in different year groups, and most importantly, very enjoyable. Architectural technology and management is the technical side of architecture, and it focuses on the science and performance aspects of buildings. And you can see from the icon below that in the 2019 National Student Survey, the course got 100% student satisfaction rating, and architecture was quite high also. So both courses have dedicated studio spaces, exciting field trips, as well as end of year shows to celebrate the success of all their students, and the students really tend to enjoy those. The next group of courses I'll discuss are those related to engineering. And these courses use math, science and creativity to solve problems and improve lives. So firstly, civil engineering. So a civil engineer is involved in all aspects of planning and design, construction and operation and maintenance of the various types of civil engineering projects. So structural design, highway design and water and wastewater design. From France commented that the wide range of modules that this course offered him really gave him all of the knowledge that was needed for his future career. He also stated that his 1 year placement in third year was perfect to give him the practical experience he needed. And he had the opportunity to complete that placement in Boston, which was fantastic. The architectural engineering programme then has been designed for innovative individuals who have an interest in building services and renewable technologies. And the course provides an in-depth study of energy, building services, engineering, sustainability and management to help you, the future student, shape the built environment of tomorrow. And again, both civil and architectural engineering received excellent feedback within the National Student Survey, both with 100% student satisfaction rating. The other courses kind of bunched under energy are bunched under engineering, would be energy, and safety, engineering and disaster management. So the energy programme explores renewable energy technologies and the applications of science and technology to find innovative solutions to real world energy problems. And there are an energy and renewable energy sectors across Europe in the next few years. So there's never really been a better time to study energy. The other course on the slide then is safety, engineering and disaster management. What safety engineers design systems and structures to be safe, preventing or minimizing incidents. If you want to make a meaningful difference to the world, then safety engineering is certainly a good course for you to consider. And lastly, under the engineering banner is construction engineering and management. So if you don't know, construction managers take overall responsibility for the planning, organisation and coordination of a construction project. And if you've ever admired our flagship buildings, engineers and construction managers who made these projects possible studied here at the School of Architecture in the Built Environment. Graduates from the construction course are employed locally and internationally by an industry that really recognises their quality. And in recognising this course, the construction industry professional body, is the Chartered Institute of Building, the CIOB, recently awarded us, the construction course, a special prize for services to the industry. So moving on, the next set of programmes we offer fit under this surveying category, and they involve the art and science of measuring, mapping and valuing land. So the first one is quantity surveying, and quantity surveyors are construction professionals who manage and control the cost of major construction projects. And typically 100% of quantity surveying graduates gain graduate positions on an average salary of around £27,000. Building surveyors are concerned with the provision of expert advice on all aspects of design, construction, maintenance and repair of buildings, and the conservation of the built heritage. Moving on then to planning and real estate. So the planning and real estate courses focus on the management of space and property in rural areas, towns and cities. So planning, regeneration and development, the focus of that course is on how to improve the places people work and live in for a sustainable future. As a global population can create sustainable cities, towns, villages and communities, finding solutions to planning challenges of the future. The real estate programme offers you a diverse, exciting and challenging career in the growing business sector. It provides a skill set which involves meeting people, inspecting property and negotiating deals. A career in property provides numerous job opportunities that are varied and exciting, including agency development, valuation, investment rating, and property consultancy. So it's a well-respected, the lifestyle is flexible, rewarding, and of course it is well paid. And the final course then that we offer in terms of undergraduate level is that of environmental health. So this course encompasses all of the external factors that affect human health and well-being. And it is certainly an innovative and dynamic programme with excellent careers. So you can see here just some images provided by the course director, and you can see some of the students took part in a beach clean at Ballintoy, and that was in October 2019, and then other students have been successful in certain competitions. So here you can see one of the environmental health students being awarded a prize for the Wish NI essay competition. So hopefully a summary of our courses were helpful, and I will now like to share with you some information about the school in terms of our links with professional bodies and our teaching and research excellence. So the first thing is professional accreditation. So the programme that you'll hopefully be applying for and joining is professionally accredited. And you're probably asking what that means. So that means that the course content prepares you for a professional career linked to the institution, stamp of quality that is internationally recognised. And alignment to these professional bodies provide a clear sign for applicants, for students, that the course is relevant and up to date within a specific sector. So it is an important factor in your decision making, and we're quite lucky within the school to be associated with so many professional bodies. In terms then of our teaching, I'll tell you a little bit about what we do within the school. So with reference to our teaching, year on year, teaching within the school, school average of 93%. And this ranks favourably to the UK sector average of 83.65%. And indeed, a number of our courses have achieved an NSS rating of 100%. And I've mentioned a few of those thus far. So architectural technology, civils, energy, architectural engineering, and real estate. So what that does is it clearly showcases the high standards we provide within the school in terms of teaching, learning opportunities, assessment and feedback, academic support, and of course, the overall organisation and management of these programmes. The university itself employs over 1,000 suitably qualified and experienced academic staff. Just some figures for you: 59% have PhDs in their subject field, and most and many have professional body recognition. There's readers, senior lecturers and lecturers, and we require most academic staff to be qualified to teach in higher education, and the vast majority of staff have postgraduate certificates in higher education practice, and they're also accredited fellows of the Higher Education Academy. In the school itself, we have around 84 staff, and that's made from full-time and part-time positions. And teaching of the main topics is delivered primarily through lectures, which often include presentations from industry professionals. You will spend time in smaller group tutorials, teasing out the details and gaining a deeper understanding of the subject matter for that module. And in lab classes and practicals, you will certainly use the latest industry-specific software if needed, and equipment to explore industry practice. So the courses are taught by subject experts, and we very often invite in guest lecturers who work in practice, work in industry, to come in and to help us explore some of those subject areas. In terms then of teaching quality, the course materials are made available online, so it gives you a flexible approach to your learning. And we also have one-to-one sessions with a tutor are provided to guide your progress. The course is assessed in a number of ways to allow us to provide you with valuable feedback on your progress. So we have class tests, coursework, formal examinations, and now more than ever, a greater emphasis is on online delivery. And at the Belfast School of Architecture in the built environment, we want to make sure our teaching is relevant and pioneering, and that's why we involve research into our classes, and I'll talk more about the importance of that shortly. So moving on to employability, obviously if you come with us, join us as a school, you will be, hopefully you will have a fantastic experience, but you probably are reading that course. So as a school, we fully recognise the need for employers to secure graduates that are essentially work ready. And at Ulster, 94% of students and graduates start their career or move into further study within 6 months of graduation. We have over 2,000 highly employable graduates. The university also runs what is known as an Edge Award, and that Edge Award stands for engagement, development, graduate employability. And this award gives you formal recognition for a wide range of activities you may take part in outside of your studies. So for example, if you volunteer with societies, if you're class rep, if you're on the committee of a sports club, or you're doing your placement abroad, all of these activities count towards the EDGE award and ultimately develop your skills and build your confidence, and that enables you to become more competitive when applying for work experience and graduate opportunities. One of the key successes within the school is that of placement. So placement would typically take place in the third year of a programme if it's offered. And it's offered for the vast majority of courses here within the school. And it really is an important part of career development. So I just mentioned there the statistics that as a year, and many of our full-time undergraduate courses include the opportunity to complete a work placement. And that really gives students the skills and confidence to stand out in today's competitive marketplace. So a period of work placement is available with most of our courses. It provides the opportunity for you to gain valuable real-world experience and to build contacts in the industry. When you're on placement, you have a dedicated work placement tutor who will help identify opportunities to gain valuable industry experience with one of our many partners across the UK. And as you can see just on the slide, a recent quote from a quantity surveying student, Megan, and Megan noted that the placement year provides invaluable experience in not only the school, in the professional world, but in the application of concepts studied during your time within the school. And Megan noted that the combination of university study and real world application means that students are well prepared to take on the role of, in Megan's case, quantity surveying upon graduating. So as a school, we are also very passionate about linking students with industry, and where we can, we will have field and site visits. And these events provide interactions with professionals, and they go a long way with enhancing your overall education and your experience. And you can just see some recent examples that we have. The architecture programme go on a field trip every year as a school. The last one that they had in October 2019, they all went to Paris. And then the super studio groups also travel as a unit. And one of them went to Barcelona in February. We have a lot of site visits on the construction engineering and management programme, and we will obviously understand what projects are happening locally in terms of construction, and we're able to get the students to visit that site. And the planning programme normally visit an exciting location each year. So for example, the course team and students recently travelled to Amsterdam to visit a regeneration project, and also to the Netherlands to visit a project which is creating more room for a local river. And in that case, the students were able to assess firsthand the impact of such a project on the environment and its population. So in terms of the school ranking, we do very well. The school certainly performs well in the sector. So for example, you can see the school is rated second in the UK for land and property management and for real estate, UK for building. With reference to school awards, some courses have annual prize giving ceremonies at the end of each academic year. And these prizes are generally donated from local employers. And there's a prize giving ceremony. For example, the quantity surveying programme has annual prizes in excess of £7,000 per year, and that provides a fantastic extra incentive for students to succeed within their modules. So the prize might be for the best overall aggregate mark in the year group, or a lot of them are assigned to the highest mark in specific modules. And construction engineering and management also have a really good suite of fantastic prizes. So in addition to these, the school also has been awarded the following. I've already mentioned the CIOB recognition for services to the industry in 2018. We have also had Chris Weir winning the RSUA Silver Medal installation in 2017, and that's the Royal Society of Ulster Architects. And then we have been awarded Best Building Services degree twice in the last 5 years, and that's from CIBSE, so that's the professional body for that area. So moving on quickly to research. So in order to improve the built environment and to meet the future challenges, research is an essential component. And at the Belfast School of Architecture and the built environment, we are very research focused, and we want to make sure our teaching is relevant and pioneering, which is why we involve research in our classes where possible. And many of our graduates move into a research career because they develop a keen interest in a specific research area throughout their time as an undergraduate student. The school has an excellent £18 million research portfolio, and in terms of research quality, we were assessed as being ranked 6th in terms of research power, and that was by the Times Higher Education Supplement. And we are also delighted with our latest success in the Research Excellent Framework. So if you don't know, the Research Excellent Framework, referred to as REF, is a system used by the funding bodies to assess the quality of research in UK higher education institutions and reputation of institutions. So in the last REF cycle, 100% of our impact and research in the school was judged by an international panel to be world leading and internationally excellent. Okay, so in terms of the research structure, our Built Environment Research Institute has 5 research centres, and you can see them on the screen. We've got the Centre for Sustainable Technologies, Fire Safety Engineering Research and Technology Centre, Hydrogen Safety Engineering and Research. We have Research on Property and Planning. We have studies allied to the built environment research, and one of our newest research groups is architecture, the Architecture Research Group. So just a little bit about our facilities. So the school offers an exciting mix of dedicated computer suites and research-focused lab spaces, and obviously that will only improve as we move to the development on the Belfast campus in time. Most advanced and best equipped highway labs in Ireland, and they have worked with clients such as Red Bull Racing and the Highways Agency. On the Jordanstown campus, the school has the 2nd biggest fire lab in the UK and the biggest in a university setting. CST, who is the Centre for Sustainable Technologies, offers zero carbon energy component and system development, and that's all tested in Terrace Street, and that's family occupied living laboratories, and you can see the image of those terraced houses which were built specifically for research group in property and planning. They evaluate the financial and environmental sustainability of our current and future built environment. And then I also mentioned the new architectural group, and they focus on architectural heritage, community needs with decarbonisation. So you can see how the research groups align to the programmes, and the main aim for us is to ensure that students get the best of research and the best in terms of quality of teaching. So to conclude, the school always strives for excellence with its teaching and research and is very proud of its reputation and indeed our students and graduates. So what do you get if you join us? Just to sum up, you get an excellent education, and you can see that from the NSS results with very positive satisfaction ratings for our courses. Where research are at very competitive rates, and they differ by profession, but we have probably some placements now being paid around £18,000. You have excellent job prospects with very high employability rates, and that's very supported with the placement that we run in a lot of our programs. And of course, we have a very positive and competitive average starting salary. Now, it's noted there as £24,000, but I believe the QS, the quantity surveying students, are starting higher than that, around £27,000. We also offer excellent professional progression and recognition. So because we're aligned to those professional bodies, whenever you graduate, you can obviously link up with them and then go on to become chartered in your specific field. And lastly, what do your future employers think? So we work very closely with our future employers, and just one quote to use: Ulster graduates are knowledgeable and able to continue to the financial performance of the company as soon as they commence work. And here you can see that we have preferred students well. We have had 2 recent Construction Manager of the Year awards from the CARB. So Paul Marlowe, who was a QS student in 2008, Margaret Conway, who was a Construction Engineering and Management student in 2006, and then Erin O'Kane, who was an Architectural Technology and Management student in 2018. So we have a number of course-based webinars coming up. I'm sure Jonathan has noted those anyway, but architecture's on the 18th of May and planning is on the 20th of May. But just to conclude from my end, thank you so much for joining us. We wish you all the best for your future, and we do hope you come and join us here at the Belfast School of Architecture and the Built Environment. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Karen. And just before we let everybody go, I'm going to go across a few questions here that have been submitted throughout the course of the webinar. One of the first ones, Karen, up was regarding placements. How beneficial they were, and how, and I know you mentioned there already that a good percentage of the majority of programs within the faculty, the school, offered a placement. How beneficial would you suggest that they are, especially for those returning students into their final year studies?
They are probably, in terms of when we receive feedback from the students, we see that they all comment that the placement was a fantastic experience for them, and it's where they were able to take the learning into the classroom back into real world application and use it in whatever industry they are studying in. A lot of the students that have placements then return to that employment after they graduate. So we work very closely with the employers. The employers want to ensure that they have the best students. And once they know they have a good student in placement, they tend to try and hold on to them when they graduate. So if students have had a good experience with their placement, they tend to go back, but some may want to travel. In any case, you're getting hands-on experience in the field that you want, working with one of the main employers within your industry, and it certainly stands you in good stead whenever you're coming to apply for jobs whenever you graduate, because essentially you've already got a year's experience in that industry.
Yeah, and I suppose to add to that, I know you were referring to this during the webinar in terms of the Edge Award and our department, our Career Development Centre, who support our students in order to, I suppose, succeed in securing placement opportunities as well. So it's about applying, it's about getting the CV right, it's about being able to have a good interview for these placements, and of course then to get the most out of your placement in terms of all those employability skills that you're going to need to have as a graduate as well. So the Career Development Centre helped that. Of course, the school itself helped that as well with their embedded modules around employability, and that's obviously to drive home the importance of placement and developing those key skills that you need as a graduate as well. So
yeah.
it's a very important part of a lot of those programs that do offer either as a compulsory or an optional element to your degree studies. Another one here was with regards to portfolio, obviously specifically to do with architecture. And would there be any opportunity for a potential applicant to see what examples of portfolios that architecture students submit, to give them an idea of I suppose, the quality and I suppose the breadth and the depth of what they should be submitting themselves come the deadline?
Yeah, well, Dr. Martina Murphy is obviously going to have an architecture webinar on the 18th. I have obviously seen examples of a lot of different portfolios, and Martina would not be able to share them, obviously, but we could probably has provided a list of what to expect. And I'm sure Martina will be able to facilitate some way to provide further information on what is needed for architecture.
I know that, sorry to cut across you, I know that obviously the portfolio is submitted digitally these days, which is great. And obviously then, I suppose, poses you a problem of what should I submit, because space is an issue. It's more about then quality and again, the depth of your submission. Now, during previous Belfast campus open days, there were opportunities there for applicants to view portfolios. I'm sure Martina will cover that during her webinar on Monday as well.
Yeah.
Question here, where have last year's graduates gone to work once finishing their degrees? Obviously that will depend on the course, but I don't know if you can talk across maybe the programs that you teach on, Karen.
Yeah, well, I suppose I can touch on the construction engineering and management program firstly. So we have a lot of the employers are the main contractors in the area. So McLaughlin and Harvey, Farron's, all of the big players. And a lot of them would be on what we have in industrial liaison panels on all courses. So they obviously feed to us what they need from graduates, and we also try to accommodate that within the learning. So a lot of the students on the construction program that have a placement, for example, McAleer and Rush, tend to go back after they graduate, because they now have graduate programs and they're treated very well. A lot of the construction firms, a lot of their work's based across the water, so students would begin by traveling back and forth. But really it does depend on your whatever course you're applying for, because we have such a diverse range of programs. We have students that obviously are out on site, we have students that work in office, we have students that are working more with digital technologies. In architecture, some of them move on to interior design, or they carry on to do architecture. But the benefit is that the choice of professions and the choice of job opportunities, even within a specific course, is quite wide and quite beneficial. And we find that once students get to final year, they've kind of figured out what element they want to focus on within their program, and they will go that direction. So some people want to go on and do a master's, a PhD, some like the lab-based work, some like the computering, some like just the kind of building control side, and it's very, very, very different. But there's jobs there, and the employers want the graduates from Ulster because they know they're essentially ready to go.
I suppose that's the important aspect of placement, is to test yourself, to find out if you like that particular area of that sector as well, or that profession.
Yeah, absolutely.
Across other students from within your year group about the placements they have been on as well. So, and that's where we learn across each other within the university. Last question is centered around, you were talking there about the silver medal, the Royal Society of Ulster Architects, the fact that programmes are validated or accredited by the likes of the building services, professional bodies. Why is that important? Why would that be important to a school leaver considering Ulster University?
Well, it's important because you're obviously joining, particularly in the built environment, you're joining a profession whenever you sign up to one of our programs. So it's focused on a particular profession, but within that, obviously, there's schemes to do a variety of things. So you can diversify and have different types of jobs within it. But primarily you will be aligned to your professional body. So as a graduate, a lot of graduates want to receive professional awards and professional recognition, and that comes through by becoming chartered, for example, with the CIOB. So that's a requirement, obviously, that you've done a course that aligns to them. So if you want to become chartered with the CIOB, you have to have done an accredited program, or you've done something to bridge that gap. We work very closely with the professional bodies to ensure that we are providing the industry with graduates that are ready to go. We are providing the graduates with the skills that they need whenever they leave. And the professional bodies allow us to do that. And once you graduate and complete, you probably will find that you want to carry on to become chartered, and that obviously then sits in line with promotions within the workplace. And we will give you a good grounding of that. And by the time you graduate, you will know there's a lot of student groups in terms of professional bodies. You will know about the chartership process. You'll know what they require. And so you don't have to go off and learn it on your own, because by the time you graduate, you tend to know that. So whilst I appreciate it's not something that would initially come into your mind when you're making a decision, but it is actually really important when you graduate. So it's certainly something to consider, and it's of a benefit if you're with a course that is aligned to your professional body.
Good stuff. Well, look, that's every question answered. Now, the whole idea of today's webinar also was to give, not just to give an overview of the courses within the school. It was also, again, to highlight the likes of more specific, subject-specific webinars like architecture on Monday. My colleague Martina Murphy will be on hosting that one, and there'll be others publicised over the next couple of weeks for those specific courses within the school as well. So thanks, Karen, for delivering today's. I'm just going to take a run through the end of the webinar. And again, it's just to highlight all our courses are available online at ulster.ac.uk. You can see all the entry requirements. There's lots of video content, module breakdown for each of those courses, and it's just to give you an opportunity to do more research between now and when you apply for the deadline date on the 15th of January 2021. So very comprehensive resource there online for you to go through all of our programs, as you can see. Our webinars, of course, are being updated every day. We have new ones coming on board for across all the subjects, plus general topics as well. So just go to ulster.ac.uk/events and register for any that you fancy coming on to learn more about. And just to finish off our open days, hopefully all being well. Obviously, we will have to re-engineer how open days will look or feel depending on the current situation, but we will work very hard to make sure you get a great insight into Ulster University regardless until we have some return to hopefully normality. But in the meantime, our open day dates are published in September. You can't register at the moment. That's still only available to the schools who typically register for you. as a student or an applicant, but student registration will be open very soon, hopefully as well. In terms of getting in touch, our admissions department telephone numbers and email addresses are there for Coleraine, Jordanstown and McGee, and that's probably in reference to any course entry requirement queries that you might have, depending on what subjects and what qualifications you're actually studying. If you want confidence that your particular profile, entry requirement profile is acceptable, just drop our admissions team an email or call them. We can confirm that for you. Any other course inquiries, just give us an email at study@ulster.ac.uk. A very good facility there is our uni buddy. That gives you the opportunity to speak to existing current students who are currently studying on the course at different stages. If you want to ask them about what placement was like, or what sort of background did you come from into this course, what subjects did you study, what modules are you studying in the program, what's it like? Obviously you can speak across to your peers a bit closer and ask them about their experience to date. And it's a good way for you to find out more about the programs. And again, as I say, their particular experience at this moment in time. So folks, that's everything for today's webinar on the Belfast School of Architecture and the built environment. Again, thank you to Karen for delivering that for us. We will see you all at our other webinars, and apart from that, keep safe, and hopefully we'll see you all at Ulster University in September 2021. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.